Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk in the mornings before guests arrive and a thick layer of fog still engulfs the amusement park, crews begin to arrive and complete daily pre-opening procedures that open the boardwalk for the day. At the Giant Dipper, carpenters begin pre-opening inspections of the familiar red and white structure that has dominated the shoreline here for 100 years. A century. That's remarkable for any amusement device, let alone one that is entirely made of timber and sits on the edge of the Pacific Ocean where it constantly endures exposure to the elements. That's Neil Kunkel. He is one of the half-dozen boardwalk mechanics specializing in roller coasters. This team keeps the Giant Dipper in tip-top shape.
I'm born and raised in Santa Cruz, and I grew up coming to the boardwalk and riding this ride when I was a kid. And to be able to work on this ride and keep it going for its 100th year anniversary, it's been really special. It's been really neat to be a part of that. There's something about working on something that's 100 years old, you know, with your hands and keeping it alive and keeping it strong, if not stronger than it's ever been.
Copy. Let me know when you're ready to do Dreamwell.
All right, just keep cruising. I was a heavy equipment operator for 15 years, and then I was a heavy construction worker on the Santa Cruz Wharf, which is right over here, and then I've been here for 3 years. So I've been doing mechanics my whole life. This was obviously something different, but it's fun. It's fun work. We're keeping a 100-year-old roller coaster rolling. So it's fun.
The morning maintenance routine begins with a walk on the catwalks that line the entire ride's track. Neil starts in the tunnel.
And I'll slowly walk one side, look at the track, looking at all the wood, just making sure everything, if there's ever a problem with the track, it's usually in the higher impact areas, which is not here, but we still need to check it. We're obviously just checking everything down here. We're looking at the walls, checking all the wood, making sure all the posts look good, making sure there's nothing on the tracks, because a lot of people lose stuff on these rides, you know. This track right here has probably been here 30, 40 years. You know, because this is a zero impact zone. Usually throughout the year, we'll have to deal with 1, 2, maybe 3 cracks, which involves us removing that part of the track so the welder can weld it, because obviously there's wood underneath and he can't just weld on top of the wood because it's just going to start a fire. Whenever we put in a new piece of track, if it's curved, we have to bend it. If it's straight, like these areas right here aren't too bad, we just have to pull out the old piece of track, bring it down to the basement, mark where all the holes are, re-drill exactly where those holes are, and then we can re-secure the new piece of track in here. So, but yeah, whenever there's a curved section, because we have to bring down the old one as a template, take the new piece of metal, put it in our track bender, and slowly bend it. Stop, look at it. Nope, bend more here, bend more there. Let's move it down, and it takes like 4 or 5 hours to do a piece of track. So once we start tearing in, it's actually 6 different layers of wood that go in. So we see the top piece is bad, we take out the top piece, and then we evaluate all the way down from there. So we ended up getting down to all 6 layers on this spot. The more stuff that's attached to the board that you're trying to replace, the more difficult the job can be. We have to use these 1x1s and individually nail each one down because they can curve that much easier, you know, in these areas. This is our main supply room where we keep our bolts and stuff for structure work. We use this room as storage for stuff that we're gonna need. You know, we have nails in here. We have all of our different size bolts, you know, for when we're doing structure work, and we have our track bolts in here too. So we keep all that stuff in here.
Neil showed us other historical tidbits in here, including the Dipper's former electrical panel.
Luckily nothing's connected in here anymore. I'm gonna turn on this light back here. So yeah, this is the muscle behind getting that train up the hill. The big electric motor turns, spins the wheel, which turns the chain and pulls the train up the hill. So this is original. This is 1924. We've changed to a synthetic belt as opposed to the old leather belts like this. This is what the original belts would have looked like. We still will use these periodically, but we switched to these synthetic belts. They don't stretch and they don't start to split. These are different layers on these belts, and you'll start to see them start to peel and split in certain areas. And the synthetic belts don't do that. You know, it's just kind of, I guess, one thing that's changed. You know. But it's something that's so like behind the scenes, you know, it's just something to make the ride more reliable. Every day we, in the morning, we have our chain connected here. I'll show you. And so this would be like closing shift right now. Okay, the ride's been running all day. The belt's tensioned. Take our hook off. Hook it on here, and then this releases the tension on the belt. So you can't run the ride with the belt not tensioned. So at night we do this because it will eliminate any sort of stretching on the belt. You know, it just kind of gives it a break, lets it rest. And then in the morning, we'll tension the belt again, drop our weight down. Prolongs the life of it. Yeah, by taking the tension off at night. We hook ourselves there, and then it's good to go for the day. And we'll start it here.
Now that inspections are complete, it's time for some test runs. This is Karl Rice. He is the president of the Santa Cruz Seaside Company, the privately owned corporation that has owned and operated the boardwalk for a century. Karl knows and understands the value of the Giant Dipper.
Well, this Giant Dipper roller coaster is our most popular, most famous, most iconic ride and attraction here at the boardwalk. So first and foremost for us and everybody here at the boardwalk is preserving and maintaining and caring for our #1 attraction. A lot goes into it. There's a lot of people that live and breathe on a daily basis this roller coaster, from maintaining it, checking it, making sure it's safe, and then of course the folks that operate it on a daily basis. It's truly a team effort and a constant effort to make sure that one of the oldest roller coasters in the world continues to deliver the experience people expect from it.
In 1987, the National Park Service and the United States Department of the Interior recognized the Giant Dipper as a National Historic Landmark. The Giant Dipper is significant in commemorating the history of the United States of America.
One thing I've always said that I really like about looking at this ride is you look at pictures of it in 1924. And you look at pictures of it now, or you see it now, and it looks the same in so many ways. I mean, there's just like, you see like our main walkway up the lift hill is the same. It's got the same little slats that we step on, you know, it's got the same posts.
Truly, you know, a 100-year-old roller coaster. It has passed from generation to generation, not just within my family that owns the amusement park and by extension the ride, but we pass it from one generation of employees to the next who, as we said, care for it and work it. And we probably most importantly pass it as an heirloom to each generation of guest and visitor that comes here. Remember, as I can, going on it with my parents. They remember going on it with their grandparents, their parents, so on and so forth. So it really is an heirloom that we are passing from one generation to the next, and it's truly special. I think the Giant Dipper, and particularly the silhouette, if you will, the roof line of the ride, it really is iconic, not just as it relates to the boardwalk as an amusement park, but really to all of Santa Cruz County, and further than that, I think it represents all of Northern California. If you think of Santa Cruz, I think anybody in California, if they think of Santa Cruz, they think of the silhouette of the Giant Dipper. So it really is iconic and represents so much more than just a ride or just Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk amusement park. And if you stand and watch everybody going on the Giant Dipper, you see what it's all about, and people are smiling, they're excited. There's a little element of fear before they get on it. And it's about a 2-minute experience, and when they get off, you can tell right away what kind of experience they had. But that's what this place is all about, and that's what this ride is all about. Just embodies what the amusement park industry is all about, which is providing a simple form of entertainment for families generation after generation.
I'm Michael Costello, reporting from Santa Cruz, California, IAAPA News.